Hiya guys, Terry for Smooth's Workshop here. Blue gloves on. Welcome back. If you've watched my latest What's in the Channel update, you will have found that I've been away from this model for 12 months. And I've explained in the update why, so I'm revisiting it again. I've found out a couple of nice new products since I actually did the build on this. Any of you that saw my metallics review will see some of the shiny spoons that I did, and there was a product. Oh, I should have had this out before I started, and I haven't because I'm not very well prepared. Oh, there it is. Right, I got really good effects from a paint from the AK Extreme Metal range, AK477 Chrome. It didn't give a chrome effect, but it does give a lovely stainless steel shinier effect. So this is where I got to with the model. I think in the last shot, I'm just checking this is on camera, I was talking about I would put the headlight in with PVA, and I did all that, and the extra hose from the Speedo binnacle and everything all going up the back. Now what I did do, I'll just get a pointy stick, was all the pipes coming off the spark plugs and the carburetors and everything come up behind the tank, and I just put a daub of PVA glue on there just to keep them all together, so when they're tucked up behind the tank that they're all going to be in the correct position. Now I had explained that the paint that I'd used on the front forks, although it looks silver, it doesn't look like fork tubes. That was Tamiya's X11 Chrome. X11, yep. I'm getting rusty, but anyway, X11 Chrome. And I'd sprayed the bottom half and I'd brush painted the top half, but unfortunately I'd masked that off and it got rough parts on it. And I wasn't too happy with the colour of that. Where's that spoon again? So I've got a picture that I took, which I'll flash up just now, of how the forks are, and I'll come back off that picture. And I'm thinking if I go with, it's quite hard to tell on camera, but if I go with this extreme metallic on there instead of what's on there, it might look a bit more like fork tubes. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to detach this cable and take the screw out the top of the forks and remove the wheel and try and dress all this up a bit again and prep it for putting the AK Extreme Chrome on. So that's one thing that I've got to address. The other thing is, and I'll flash another picture up just now, the mirrors. They don't come in this early kit with mirror glass in them. So again, it was a year ago, didn't know about this product, and I just painted it with what they said was the X11 Chrome, and it really doesn't look nice. And I think having that kind of shine would be better than that, so I'm going to have to dress them up again and redo them. The only other bit I want to redo is on the seat, the little buckles that hold the grab strap on the seat. They're supposed to be like a stainless steel kind of chrome thing as well, so I might redo those as well, so a bit of redressing on that. Regarding the tank parts, right, I'll just pull this camera across a bit further and tilt it down a bit. I've got them on white paper, so you maybe not see them so well. It was just to protect them whilst they were in storage. You'll see that I had problems with fisheye because I used a primer, where was it? It was Mig's White, and it really didn't work for me. Since then, I started using the stuff I've got just now is badged Ultimate Primer. I'd used the black polyurethane to build up the tank and get rid of some of the seam lines and everything. It's basically Stynol Res. It's Stynol Res black. But I also got myself, what I did after that, after the black, I rubbed it all down. As you'll maybe make out a couple of bits that have been rubbed back. I thought, okay, so it was black. I don't really want to spray white over the black because it'll be too dark, and the paint I'm going to use is quite translucent. So I gave it a coat of flat white XF2 for Tamiya, and unfortunately I got a couple of spatters, so I had to do a little bit more rub back. But since then I got myself some Ultimate Primer in the white. Again, it's just Dyno Res, but it's a white one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over that with this and let it cure before I go any further. Now this part on the back, and I'm going to flick a picture up in a minute, but try as I might, I still have an area of sinkage at the back here. In the picture, I'll pop it up just now and you can see exactly what I'm on about. So I'm going to have to redress that. I'm going to have to fill it. I'm going to try using some of this perfect plastic putty to fill it, and then I'll need to dress it up, and then we'll prime all these again and then check to see how smooth they are and dress them up if need be. So it's going to be a bit of a process, because after that all these white body panel parts are going to get a coat of, and it's from the rattle can. Don't have the rattle can to hand, but it's Tamiya's TS26 Pure White, which if you watch my decanting video, I've decanted it. As you can see, all the sediments went to the bottom because it's been a good year. But that stuff's still usable. So I'm going to give that a good stir up. Now, although it comes out the rattle can and sprays no problem, I envisage that it might need some thinning in the airbrush. So I will be putting a little bit of, because it's a cellulose or lacquer based paint, I'll be putting some Mr. Colour self-leveling thinner in when I go to do the top coat. So I've got a bit of prep to do on those. The rest of the parts are just really waiting to get stuck on. So that's the foot pegs and everything that I did. I've done all the detail painting on them with the rubber foot pegs and the aluminium parts on the foot peg. There was an oil pin wash in it just to pick up accents. Painted the brake lever and everything, and put the front foot peg on, so there was a couple of them. I've already done all the detail painting on my handlebars. Kickstart's done. That doesn't really need any attention. That's a rear grab rail and the refuel cap, side stand. Indicators are all done and stuck together. So basically they're waiting for, they'll go on right at the end. So I've got to redress this seat and the mirrors. There's a decal to go on the rear number plate, so I'll do that before I stick it on the mudguard. It'll be a lot easier. So that's all to be done, and here's some additional tubing that I'll probably have to get done near the end. I'm just looking there. Yeah, I haven't done all the front fork stuff because I'm going to have to strip it all back down again. Yeah, so move my camera back again. Oh, tip it up a bit, Terry. Right, so I'm going to have to dress that up, dress those up. I'm not really going to go and film all that for you. I'll probably do a quick time lapse and come back, but let's see how we get on with getting this back off. Now, am I going to have to snip this? I think I will. I'll get out with PVA again when I go to stick it all under the tank. Right, that's it off. Right, and I shall, like my wee jeweler screwdrivers, so I'll just take the screw back out that held the front forks on. So, and instead of actually getting somewhere forward with this build, I'm taking a step back, and the only reason is I love this kit. It's a retro kit. They're quite hard to get, and I've discovered products since I started doing it that's going to make it look better. So I'm going to retrofit. So that's that back off there. Hopefully it'll give me more access in about it, so that I can get in and hand paint. Now, am I going to have to remove the headlight? I hope not, but I think I might. And it's on with PVA, but it's got a bloody good grip, so I might just leave that. Go take the tyre off and the wheel off, just because if I'm going to be painting other stuff, it'll give me a bit more easy access. I hope this is still on camera. I haven't done these videos for a good year, so it's going to take me a wee while to get back into the hang of how I used to shoot them. So that's the front wheel off. So that's me got the forks back to there, and I'm wanting to dress all this bit up. And there, I should be able to get in round about that with a small brush. It's going to be difficult round about the back of the headlight and possibly around the top of the fork stanchions. But yeah, so I'm going to redress all that. I don't think I'll film it all, but basically what I'm going to be doing is one of these Ultimate Sanders thinny sticks, and I've got some new ones. Where's my new ones? Not that will matter. Basically I'm just going to dress all this back, and that's coming off really quick, going back down to the bare plastic again. I'll put, because that AK chrome works really well on a shiny base coat, I shall do that first, but I'm going to be doing it with brush rather than, I'm going to get myself a new one of these. Bear with me 2 seconds. I've got a big box of stuff down at my feet here. Buffers. Is that a thinny stick? Is that a new thinny stick? Is that an old thinny stick? I know I've got a pack in the living room, but I'm going to just use a new thinny stick on it. Yeah, so it's not going to take a lot of dress up, but I'm going to have to take that back because it roughed up really quite badly with the tape, and I don't think it's going to be smooth enough for when I want to. The top, these parts up here are okay, they're going to be smooth enough. I'll just paint over them. It's just this bottom bits. I'm just going to carefully dress all that back, and I will hand paint some X1 on there. So I'm going to go off camera and do that just now, on the bits that I'm going to redo with the chrome, and I'll come back to you in a little bit. So see you shortly. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back to Smooth's Workshop. Right, we're on to the next wee section here. Always the same, when I start a clip I end up coughing in the brand, so apologies for that. Right, it's getting a wee bit later at night now. Hopefully all my lights and everything are giving you a good enough view of what I'm doing. I was on about the thinny sticks. I knew I'd bought a new pack. I do like these, the Ultimate Modelling Sanders. It's wee thinny sticks, and the buffers packs for fine detail and finishing up. So I'm just going to move the camera across a bit and pan down a little bit. So right, that's the middle. Right, okay, you can see me now. Right, clean up. I've basically, with a buffer stick, just finally dressed that up, the bit I want to repaint. On the mirrors, now you can cut down these sandy sticks with a craft knife to get yourself a wee bit. This is an old one, and I've just dressed it up. I'm going to try a wee cheat on it. Hopefully it works. Idea being that's a really nice shiny glossy finish underneath, just to see if I can get away with just putting AK Extreme Metal on top of it. If it doesn't work, I can always take it back down again, but I mean, I'm learning sometimes with new products at the same time as you guys are. Right, the forks, pointy stick. I've dressed up this bottom half the best I can. You can see some lines on it possibly where it's went through the primer stage and back down. It's really only the bottom bits that I'm worried about, and this first paint coat will show me whether it's smooth enough or not, and if it's not, then it will need further dressing up. It's a bit like you sand something down and then you spray a mist coat over it and it highlights any imperfections. I won't know till I get my first bit of paint on. Plus I'm brush painting as well, and Tamiya paints can be a bit of a pain in the backside sometimes when you're brush painting them, but I'm going to be going on with X1. Yeah, so you can cut these down. Where's a new pack? There's a new pack. That's a buffer stick. Okay, so I've got one that I've been using for a while, okay, but I've got a really old one, and you can cut it down into wee strips, and what that let me do, just drop the pointy stick, is, see if I'm on camera, I can actually get buffing in round about because I've cut it down to a nice wee custom size. It saves stripping it all back down again, and then I can buff it up again. So hopefully I've got that a bit smooth enough. The top bit, we'll see how it goes, because if I'm going to put a more high reflective paint on, it's going to show up any imperfection. I'm trying to make it look better than what it is, so we'll see how we go with that. So the paint that I'm going to put down is, if you watch my Super Metallics review, I know I could go down with an acrylic, cellulose based. I mean, you've got stuff like Mr. Colour in the black. That's a lacquer based cellulose paint. I don't know what it's like to brush paint. I haven't tried it yet. Might do that at a later date, but I'm not really wanting to get into that, and I know this stuff works. So without further ado, cover my leg up with my old tea towel so I don't ruin my Kevlar bike trousers, because I haven't bothered getting changed. Couple of bits of kitchen roll on hand. Paintbrush I'm going to be using, I'm liking these, ABS brushes. This one's a detail brush, so it's got enough that I can load the paint up on, but it's not too long that when I'm going out the back of things it should cause me any issues. So I've got my wee paint palette here. They're really cheap, they're only a couple of quid. So the first thing I'll need to do with this paint is give it a wee stir. So I've got my Tamiya stirrer here, okay, so I'm just going to give this a wee whisk up, because I've not used this paint for over a year. Oh, lovely smell, I like the smell of acrylic paints. So just give that a wee mix up, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop a few drops of that. I don't know if you're picking it up on camera. Are you picking it up on camera? If not, I'm just going to move the camera a bit. I'm going to put a few drops in my palette, like so. And I'll move it up a bit to my palette, but I'm sure you can see there that I've put a few drops of paint in, and I'm just going to clean my stirry stick. So that's that done. Avoid any spillage, get the cap back on the paint again, because my name's not Tony. Still having to dig at Tony, he spills bloody everything. Right, so I've got some paint in there, but Tamiya paint's not really very good to paint neat. So I've got myself some X20A thinner and a little pipette, and I'll just put in the palette next to it a blob of the X20A. Use it in a well ventilated room, because it is isopropyl alcohol. You didn't really want to be getting drunk on it, so to speak. So I shall take a little dab in the thinners and just check my brush is clean. I don't want to be taking my brush and pulling it, because it damages the bristles. I just want to, can you make that out? Make sure, just give it a wee clean. It's been cleaned previously, but there's a wee hint of metallic on there that I've used before. So okay, so that's the brush clean, and I'm just going to dip into the edge of the palette here and slightly thin the X1, so that it gives me a bit more time to work with it. Similarly as if you were putting it in an airbrush, you normally thin it about 50-50, but we're not airbrushing it here, so we don't want it that thin that, you know, it's not going to stick to the model or whatever. But right, so I'm going to see if I can get this on camera. It's quite hard to do this and look at the same time. I'm going to just slightly too thin. Just a wee dab of X1, actually that's spread out okay. And a wee bit underneath. All I'm trying to do here is, because this AK Extreme metal paint likes a glossy finish underneath, And I know that the silver that I've got on it is quite glossy. I'm just putting a wee bit of this on. But you've got to do it quickly. This stuff dries pretty quick. So once you've got it on, you don't want to be reworking it and reworking it. You want to put it on, leave it. The mirrors, I have thought about doing it, but it's a large surface area. I'm going to wing it and try and do it just with the chrome on the top, because I have rubbed it back. And the main one is going to be the forks. So load my brush up and just twist it away. Let's get in and see if we can get some coverage. I'm just going to go on thin and hopefully not rework it too much and get full coverage before this stuff starts going off, because that's when it starts streaking and showing brush lines. Keeping some thinners on the brush and just touch this up, and hoping because of the glossy nature and that it's slightly thinned that it's going to level itself out and not give me any major issues. I'm not worried if it goes onto the rubber not so go quiet when I'm concentrating. I'm not worried if it goes onto the rubber part that I've painted. I can touch it up later. My main concentration is getting this fork stanchion painted with the gloss. And it's on, and I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to keep touching it up. If it needs any more on top of that, I can come to that later and do the other one. Yeah, adding thinners lets you work with the Tamiya paint a bit longer. It's really designed for airbrushing. And the reason I'm not worried about the black bit is it's actually the same colour of paint, although it's had a coat of lacquer on it. What I'm doing is I want to see when this dries if there's any imperfections under it, because that chrome will show it up, which means I'll need to rub it back again. Right, so that's the bottom bit, the fork's done. The harder bits is going to be retouching these bits up the top. I want to try and get uniform, so I'm going to attempt it. Eek, says he. It's a bit harder with the headlight in place. I've got thinners on it. I've probably got a bit much thinners on it actually. Pull away and twist, give me a finer point. I'm not worried about it overlapping onto the surrounding paint above and below it because it's the same colour. Just trying to give it a uniform coverage. This bit in behind the headlight's going to be a pain in the bum. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm on camera. No, I'll tip it down a bit. Says he. Also trying not to. There we go. Also trying not to rework stuff that's already started drying, because it just streaks. Okay, so that's that wee bit done. This one's going to be a wee bit of pain because this hose is here. See if we can get this up out the way. Hopefully I'm still on camera. Wee bit of thinners, bit of paint, twist the brush away, let me have the nice point. So in hindsight, if I'd known about this chrome paint, I wouldn't have painted the X1 in the first place, the X11, sorry. I would have just painted it with the chrome paint. But you'll always find as you're building models, you'll get better and better each one you do. And you'll find new products that give you a better effect than what you used before. Right, so that's that bit. This is going to be the hard bit here, coming up the back of the headlight. To be honest, you're not going to see most of it. I think I've got that a little bit over diluted. Then I'm not going to put too much on so I lose detail on it. Okay, that's that bit. Then up under here. Still on camera? Just about. And using, as I say, using the thinners gives me a little bit more time for working with this Tamiya paint, because it tends to dry really quickly. Because although they're an acrylic, the thinning agent in them is an alcohol based one, so it dries off really quick, flashes off, as opposed to some of the Mr. Hobby Aqueous, which is a water based. Although you could thin them with the X20A, you get a bit more working time with them. And most of these products are designed to be used with an airbrush. I think I'm over thinning it actually. Come up this side of the... So it's just really prepping this for the next layer of paint, which will be the chrome, and it prefers going on a nice glossy finish. And to give it the best chance, I'm glossing it up. I don't think I've got perfect coverage. But hopefully it's enough. So yeah, I've just went over all the colour that I've painted there with the original chrome. A wee bit of the edges it's not quite taken to, but to give this stuff a good chance. So I'll set that aside and let that dry. Just going to clean my brush up. I'm not going to do the mirrors with it. I'm going to try and wing it, because basically the mirrors got the X11 chrome and then this is quite handy. I've got a wee pot here. It's got some old X20 in, and what I tend to do when I'm cleaning the brush is I just give it a wee sluice about, and then draw it on the paper till it's clean and leave it. Right, so I've coated the bits on the seat. I'm going to try and wing it with the mirrors. The forks are slightly out of shot. I'll let them dry and hopefully it comes up nice and smooth when it's dry. If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to dress it again, but I mean it will give me an idea if I've dressed it up properly. So just using the X20 it was in there to clean my little pot out. Do it before it dries, and there we go, that's my paint pot cleaned. Right, so that's as far as I can go with the forks. There's no point starting the mirrors yet. I might as well paint everything at the same time with that. Let's just get this up. So I can put that away to the side. That's me done with the X1 just now. And hopefully it all dries nice and sweet and that cable's not touching any of the paint. So I'll set that aside to dry. Set that aside to dry. Mirrors don't need to dry, I've just dressed them up. Yeah, So that's that bit done. Right, the problem bit, I'm just checking I've no black paint on here, I don't. Right, I showed you the image of this, and we still have a major problem here. So I have in my little pot, I might have to use my Tamiya stirrer, it's got a nice flat bit on it, but I do have applicators. There's one. Is that my other one? There's my other one. These are putty applicators with different shaped ends on them. Okay, I personally don't feel, although they're good for putting the initial bulk of the stuff on, which in this case is going to be perfect plastic putty, a metal item's got a smoother surface, so I might end up touching it with this. The good thing with perfect plastic putty is you can dress it with water. So if you get it in and it's looking a bit rough, you can get over it with a wee bit of water to smooth it. I haven't used it a lot, so this is a bit of an experiment for me. But this does need redressed. So although I've got a nice finish on that, a wee bit of key, this might even highlight where the rough bit is. Off the top of my head, this is 220 grade. Is it 220? 220 grade. That's your ultimate ones. Okay, and that's just showing that up lovely there. Just give it a wee wipe. Where you can see the white paint sitting, that's the low point. And the rest all round about it is perfectly level. In fact, I might come down slightly further, because the line is still showing coming down to there. Now, I'm not going to go a really fine grade on there just now, because a little bit of roughness might help this stuff key in. So let's see this perfect plastic putty. Not used it for a while. So it's tube form. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit on our spatula. We're not going to need a lot. We are going to want it to stand slightly proud of the surface, but we don't want to give ourselves a big huge sanding job. So right, okay, I'll take my camera up centre of the bench. There we go. Right, so I'm just going to take some of this putty and dab it on where I want it. So that's where I want it. It's obviously far too proud, so I'll clean that spatula up and see what happens when I draw it across with the other one. In fact, I'll go this way. I think it's actually taking a bit too much off, so I'm just going to dot that back on again. You can rework this because it's water soluble until it dries. Let's see what happens when I use my metal. Right, so I don't know if you can make it out, but it's all slightly proud. I'm going to have to let that set before I can do anything with it. I'm just going to look on the Mr. Putty instructions. Fast drying, super fine. Clean it up with water. Dries without cracks. We'll find that out. It doesn't really tell you how long it takes to dry. So I'm going to be kind of stuck at the moment to see how long this stuff dries. I'm going to give it a good hour or two, and then I'll come in it first with a 220 grade, and then I'll come in with a buffer, and I'll check by eye to see if it looks as if it's okay. But the telltale will be when I go over and give it a coat of the Ultimate Primer. Now the good thing about that Steino Res Ultimate Primer is a self-leveling qualities, and if you watched my earlier video with the black stuff, it does fill gaps and seams, but it won't fill anything that's as deep as that. So I have had to use a filler. I'm not wanting to go in with a coarse sandpaper when it dries, because then I might gouge the surrounding area. So I'm not going to go any coarser than my 220 stuff. These just wipe off on your lap. I've got a towel sitting here. So I need that to dry. To see what finish I've got under there. The mirrors will come back to it. I need that to dry, so I can't really do anything more at the moment. But what I will do is, when you get one of these ultimate primers, now I'm just going to open the box up and see if I can find where I've put them. Right, you can get these little packs of stainless steel shaker balls. I think it's MIG or Ammo that does them. And when you first get your primer, it's got a seal on the top. So we want to remove this. Comes off easy enough. So yeah, you've got your seal. Now, you could just shake it, but I tend to find if you get some of these little steel balls, and just grab, because it's quite a thick, this primer. So there's one. Same with the Steinores. Steinores and Ultimate Primer's the same thing. There's two. There's three, there's four. So that's, I've put 4 wee stainless steel balls in there. It just makes life easier when I go to reuse this stuff again in the future. You get big bags of them, and it's just for ammo. They're not very expensive. Actually, the part number, it's MIG, is A.MIG-8003, and they're stainless steel paint mixers. I don't know if you can make that out. I put them all in any of the bottles that I'm going to be using, even in the weathering washes. You know, need to shake it for a while for stuff. Hear that rattling? I've got balls in the bottom of there as well. Oh, missus. So, aye, they're worth getting. Now, the other thing that I do, because it's brand new, never been used, is I will manually stir it with my paint stirrer, because this stuff's really thick, and although the balls will agitate it, I'm not going to use this just now because I've got to wait until things setting, but I'm just showing you a bit of paint prep. So all your medium is at the top, and all the actual paint goes to the bottom when it's lying sitting. And you can shake, but the more you prepare your paint, the better it's going to shoot. So just giving it an initial stir with a paint stirrer. Some of you guys have got these electric ones. I would say don't put the balls in if you've got an electric one, because it might damage your wee electric stirrer. I tend to hand shake all mine, and it's because I've not used this one before, so I'm just take as much of the excess off so I'm not wasting it. And clean all my stirry stick. Yeah, so I'm open to trying other primers if anybody wants to send me any for me to do a review. But this is by far the best primer that I've come across in polyurethanes, non-toxic. You start to hear the balls shaking about in there now. I reckon before I actually go to spray that, I'll give it about 20 minutes of a shake. I might give it a wee stir with the stick beforehand, but just because this is a brand new one. And the agitator balls inside just help mix it all. I mean, you see folk getting it like a 2-second shake. All you're going to end up with is a lot of medium on the top and then a thick pigment in the bottom. You do have to mix these up properly to get them to work 100%. So that's just basically how I prep a new one. I put 4 stainless steel agitator balls in it. I give it a stir with a stick. It's probably going to be tomorrow before I get onto the primer. So when I go to do it tomorrow, I'll just give it another restir with a Tamiya paint stirrer, and then I'll give it some agitation. Hopefully by then this will be dry and the forks will be dry, and they'll hopefully come up nice, and actually they're looking not too bad as regards needing to dress them up kind of thing. Proof will be in the pudding. So I can't go any further with anything because basically the next step from there is shooting, after that's sanded down, I'm going to be shooting the ultimate primer over the tank, the side panels and the mudguard. I'll let that dry. This stuff's really good for sanding back as well. Make sure there's no blemishes, high spots, anything like that. And if it's good to go, then we'll go on with the top coat. If it's not good to go, I'll give it a wee rub back with a buffy stick, and hopefully it doesn't go through the black again. And I'll give this overnight to cure and sand it back and see how we go, and take it from there. So yeah, I might end the video here just to let you see what I've been doing, give you a smaller bite and let you actually see that I'm doing something in the videos, rather than, okay, I'll let this sit overnight and then tomorrow I'll go and sand this back and paint it up and all the rest of it, and you end up with an hour's video. I suppose it's possibly better. You guys feedback and tell me if my videos are too long or if I'm not going into enough detail or whatever. But yeah, if I make what I've done so far just to show you that I'm doing something, might be better than, you know, hanging off a day or two and then you're going, oh god, here's another hour's video to watch. So I think I might do that. I know what I'm doing. Planning the video series wise, if I cut this off now, I would say tomorrow or the next video will be me applying. I've not tried it by brush, this AK Extreme Metal Chrome. I did it by airbrush and got that kind of results, to my, like a stainless steel chrome fork tube kind of result. Haven't tried it with brush. You don't have to thin it or anything, so I'm assuming, you can see all the chrome in the bottom there, I'm assuming it'll brush paint okay. It's nice and thin. I had to do 2 coats with the airbrush. I might have to do 2 when painting it by hand. And it's weird because when it goes on it's not shiny, it kind of cures and then turns into the metallic shiny, so it's not like an immediate result with this. It takes time to cure and then you get the, because when I sprayed the spoon the first coat, it didn't look like this, and then I gave it a second coat and it still didn't look like this, and then after about an hour it sort of cured and went into this nice shininess. So yeah, I'll go on with that. The next video will be my dressing up, priming. All goes well with that, then we'll get on to shooting the top coat. Obviously we'll need to let the paints cure after that. Everything going well and the chrome gets okay on the forks, I'll build that back up and put it back on the bike. If the sanding back and priming and top coat all goes fine, the next video after that would actually be going on to decals. They give you a small set of decals with this. They're not the UK spec one, they are the Japanese RZ ones. I'm just trying to pull them out from here. So there's a set of decals to go on this. The ones that will be going on the black tank, you use the gold trim. I'll try and get a bit closer, the gold trim with the red. And if you're painting it white, you use these blue with the red. So I've cut out the number plate one, which is RZ250, so I'll get that one. Yeah, so I'm planning the next video will hopefully be dressing up, applying the chrome, applying the primer, getting the top coat on. So that'll be one video, and then I'll do a video just on applying the decals. Once that's done, obviously decals take time to dry. The next one will be applying a top coat over the tank and everything, and then basically everything's done. It just needs to get into the final build stages. So I think that's the best way to do it, rather than me hanging off and you guys are all hanging there. Although I've not achieved much this evening, I'm trying to explain what I'm doing and why I'm retro painting, or retro painting, is that the right word? Going back and doing something again in retrospect now that you have new products, is what I'm doing. So the build isn't far from finish. Everything else is painted. It's just the chrome in the forks wasn't happy with, and the body panels still been a pain in the bum. So this is Terry from Smooth's Workshop. I'm going to call it quits at this. Next video will be chrome extreme metal application, cleaning up this, seeing how this stuff sands, this the perfect plastic putty. Hopefully it sands well. Getting a primer coat down on it. Primer coat dries really quickly, and if it's got a really good finish, you can also sand it really quickly if there's any imperfections. So I should get into top coat, and that'll be the next video. There'll be a video after that where I'll just do decals, and it'll be a short one, using the different solutions, and then possibly clear coating it, and then final assembly, and then hopefully a reveal. So that's it for now. Speak to you later. Bye.